This is a story of Katarzyna Zowada, and also known as the skin case. Katarzyna was a 23-year-old woman from Krakow, Poland. On November 12, 1998, she was reported missing by her mother, failing to turn up to her doctor's appointment at 6 p.m. that day. On January 6, 1999, the body of Katarzyna was found by the crew of the ship. The ship was located near the Dabi barrage on the Vistula in Krakow. Fragments of her body became entangled in the propeller and immobilized the ship. The crew informed the police of the discovery, and when the police arrived, they managed to find more fragments of her body. Initially, it was assumed that the body was destroyed by the ship floating on the river, but during the examination, they found fragments of the body. It was found that the torso skin was deliberately removed and that the limbs and head were cut off. The killer prepared the skin in such a way as if the killer wanted to form a skin suit one could wear. Investigators determined that the skin had been floating in the river for weeks at this point. Later, they found her leg and pieces of her clothing, but the rest of her remains, including her head and limb, were never recovered. There were several suspects interviewed, but none of them were the actual perpetrator. Including a student from Russia, Vladimir K., unalived his father, dissected his scalp, and then sewed it into the shape of a mask so he can wear it. He pretended to be his father for a whole day in front of his grandfather, who couldn't see well. He was later punished for unaliving his father. In July 2000, DNA of another person was found on Katarzyna's body. Unfortunately, it didn't help the investigation, and her case was discontinued in 2001. The results of finding the remains of plants and fibers of organic origin at the beginning of 2012, the investigation resumed. As a decision, it was made to exhume the remains of Katarzyna to perform an autopsy. Botanists said that the plant remains did not come from an aquatic environment, that the occurrence of the plant is limited to certain areas. Thanks to this, it was found out that the unaliving did not occur on the river. It was also found that Katarzyna was tortured before her unaliving. At the beginning of 2014, Krakow investigators appointed experts from Southern Europe and the FBI to help solve this case. According to specialists, the unaliving had been inspired by the film Silence of the Lambs. It was also assumed that the killer could be a butcher or a doctor. On October 4, 2017, Robert J., a 52-year-old resident of Krakow, was arrested for Katarzyna's unaliving. Robert was described as a freak who took pleasure in torturing and skinning animals. He worked at the morgue where he was in the military, and he knew martial arts. He also had a history of stalking and harassing women. At the time of Katarzyna's unaliving near the riverbank where her skin was found, he got caught because he described it in a journal. After the unaliving, he became religious and allegedly confessed to a priest. He would also visit Katarzyna's grave. In a psychological profile, experts pointed to the sadism and tendencies to harass women. He also revealed a tendency to eccentric behavior and dressing in women's clothing and peeping at neighbors and etc. And that is the unfortunate case of Katarzyna Zowada. May she rest in peace. And for more stories like these, and if you like true crime, hit the plus button. I'll catch you guys on my next one. Bye. Love you.